Is language a tool to prevail or a burden of mind? This question may seem paradoxical, but it is one that demands our attention. Over the course of evolution, humans have developed an exceptional skill, one that sets us apart from all other beings. You might think we're talking about the ability to create or the ability to throw, but while these are indeed remarkable, they are not unique to our species. What truly makes us exceptional is our ability to communicate, to share our thoughts with others through the medium of language. Today, hundreds of different languages are spoken by us, and throughout history there have been even more. Some have faded into obscurity while others have survived, evolving and changing over time. It's extraordinary that we can connect with each other, sharing our innermost thoughts and emotions through language. In its essence, language connects us, allowing us to share thoughts and feelings. But does it do more than just connect us? Language, in its most basic form, brings people together. In the grand tapestry of human existence, language serves as the thread that intertwines our lives, our cultures, and our experiences. It's a symphony of words, an orchestra of phrases, and an opus of thoughts. It's the tool that allows us to share our minds, our hearts, and our dreams. Imagine for a moment a world without language, an existence where thoughts remain locked within, emotions are unexpressed, ideas are unshared. It's a quiet world, a world of isolation. But language, with its power and its beauty, shatters this silence. It breaks the barriers of solitude, allowing us to reach out, to connect, to understand, and to be understood. Language is the cornerstone of unity. It's the adhesive that binds us together, the common thread that weaves through the fabric of our societies. It allows us to form communities, to build nations, and to establish civilizations. It empowers us to work collectively, to strive towards common goals, to build a shared vision. From the primal tribes of our ancestors to the bustling metropolises of today, language has been the unifying force, the common denominator, the shared song of humanity. Yet language is not merely a tool for communication. It's a mirror that reflects our culture, our beliefs, our values. It's a vessel that carries the essence of who we are, preserving our past, shaping our present, and influencing our future. It's the lens through which we perceive the world and the brush with which we paint our reality. Language, hence, acts as a bridge, uniting us in ways unimaginable. But what happens when this bridge becomes a wall? As we delve deeper into the complex tapestry of language, we begin to uncover its paradoxes, its limitations, its potential to not only unite but also divide. Or as we shall see, it even make us enslaved. As a tool for communication, language allows us to express our thoughts, emotions, and ideas, to connect with others, to build societies and cultures. Yet at the same time, language can act as a barrier, limiting our ability to fully capture and convey the complexity of our inner world. This dual nature of language is a fascinating paradox. Every language, with its unique grammar, syntax, and vocabulary, carries certain limitations. These limitations can lead to misunderstandings, misinterpretations, and even conflicts. We've all had moments where we've struggled to find the right words to express a particular thought or feeling. This struggle is not just about finding the right words, but also about the inherent constraints of the language we're using. Language not only shapes our communication, but also influences our thought processes and imagination. This phenomenon, known as linguistic relativity, suggests that our perception of the world is largely determined by the language we speak. Consequently, the structure of a language can both enable and restrict our cognitive capabilities. For instance, certain concepts might be easier to grasp in one language than another because of the way that language structures thoughts. Moreover, the richness of a language, while providing a wider range of expressions, can also impose limitations. The more words we have to describe a particular concept or feeling, the more nuanced our understanding becomes, but the harder it might be to communicate that understanding to others. This richness can sometimes feel like a burden, as we strive to navigate the maze of words and meanings, constantly seeking the perfect expression of our thoughts and feelings. In this sense, language can be seen as a double-edged sword. On one side, it empowers us to communicate, to connect, to understand, and to be understood. On the other side, it confines us within its boundaries, limiting our ability to fully express the depth and breadth of human experiences. So we find ourselves in a paradox. Language in its richness can impose limitations, making us wonder if it is also a burden of the mind. The paradox of language lies in its dual role as both a connector and a divider. As it evolves, it becomes a richer tapestry of expression, teeming with new words and phrases. Yet this very enrichment could be seen as a narrowing of boundaries. Each new word or phrase becomes another gate, another key required to unlock full comprehension. This is a curious conundrum we find ourselves in. So as our language expands, are we broadening our horizons, or are we merely constructing more elaborate labyrinths within our minds? One cannot help but ask, are we enhancing our communication, or are we unknowingly limiting ourselves? As we've explored, language in its myriad forms and complexities serves as a unifying tool. It allows us to share our thoughts, emotions, and ideas, fostering connection and community. Yet it is also a potential burden. The very structure of language can limit our thinking and imagination. It sets boundaries, creates room for misunderstandings, and can even influence our thought processes. The more we enrich a language, the more boundaries we potentially set, leading us to question whether this enrichment is actually a form of collective restraint. Perhaps like many things in life, language too is a double-edged sword. It gives us the power to connect, but at the same time it imposes boundaries on our minds. As a language evolves, it will contain more and more words and more complex structure. The other edge of sword will be even more sharpened, meaning more boundaries and more limitations are being imposed to our mind, preventing us to think freely. By enhancing our mutual understanding in our society, we are sacrificing the uniqueness of the individual thoughts, making them enslaved of their rich language. The question remains, which side of the sword do we choose to focus on?